Hey.
We're live.
Thanks for Mike.
Good morning. Welcome to the Steuben County Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, April 7th, 2025. First item on our agenda is, funny, you don't look like Dusty.
I know, it's psychological.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
I'll go first, and that way I'll introduce Dusty. The reason I'm up this morning is that I think everybody got an estimate. I've had about 20 boxes or so, and I have them put permanent record, permanent film. I do this every year. So everything is all ready when I go in front of the public commission in May. Everything's all microfilm, so we can destroy all the documents and put everything to permanent record. Now, this estimate here that I have, it probably be a little bit less than that, but that's just an estimate for right now. I probably won't get those documents back and the film probably in a month. And will all come out of the 1189 perpetuation fund.
Questions? Motion? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then I'm going to introduce Dusty Wicker. He is our CSI account executive for recording software. He has got something he wants to present. That way you can ask questions.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dusty Wicker. I'm with CSI. We work with 48 counties in Indiana. We are a Hoosier-based company, so we're actually out of Fishers. Testing.
Got it.
There we go. All right, so we are a Hoosier-based company. We're out of Fishers. We just work with recorders. We also work with your auditor and your assessor for the e-recordings. What we have today is we have a new service that we are offering with a company out of Nevada. They are called Equity Protect. And what they do is they have a patented property fraud prevention solution. Right now, you guys have a service that Danny brought to the county called Property Watch through JoxPop, which is our public access vendor. That is a reactive solution. Okay, it's free, costs nothing to the county, costs nothing to the constituents, but it is reactive. You're just getting an alert after someone has taken your property. Okay. This one with Equity Protect is a preventative solution or a proactive solution. And it also has what they call a smart policy in the event that something does make it through the recording process and your property does get stolen. There's no cost to the county at all. Costs you guys nothing. All that it does is by signing the agreement, Equity Protect drops their price for the startup. Right now it's about $360 for the startup. If you guys sign the agreement, it comes $149 plus tax for the first year. And then the second year and each year thereafter is $99.95. Any questions?
Is that fee to the county or is that fee to the constituent that signs up for the project?
Constituent. So the county pays nothing for it. It's just if the person wants to be part of the solution, then they pay for the service. And let me give you a little bit more information on how this works. So what happens is if a person wants to look at this service, and they can do it now, anybody can do it anywhere in the United States without you guys signing the agreement, just costs $60 instead of $100. How it works is if I'm interested in signing up, I go into the website, put in my name, put in my address, I instantly get a report back that's going to tell me you're high risk, medium high risk, medium risk, or low risk. It's all based on a number of different things. Things that make you high risk would be if you own farmland or you have vacant land, no mortgage on your property. I see it a lot in these smaller communities, especially up here where you guys have a lot of lakes. You have vacation homes, rentals. So you guys actually are a higher risk than, let's say, Hamilton County, for example, 62% of Hamilton County is low density, just because they're huge, not a lot of debt. You guys here, 41% of Steuben County parcels are high res, 27% are medium high, 9% are medium, and 23% are low res. So if I'm interested and I live in Steuben County, I would go put in my name, my address, I would instantly get a report. That report tells me my risk level. If you're low or you're medium, they tell you right away. Does you no good to be part of this. No one's gonna try and steal your property, more than likely. So we're not gonna try and sell this to you. If you're medium high or high, then they're gonna try and push the product. But that's completely up to the property owner if they want to be part of the prevention solution.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
If you needed it, it would be useful.
Yeah, and we're pretty lucky in Indiana. We haven't seen a whole lot of fraud. Michigan, on the other hand, and you guys are very close to Michigan, they have huge problems with property fraud. Specifically Detroit. Detroit has a whole fraud division in the recorder's office that has like 10 employees that are just dedicated to these fraud cases.
Okay, motion. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was hoping the battery was on.
Sarah, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jim. I'm here today with a request and also an update on the fuel farm project out of the airport. Brought help today for the request. Jacob is here to present our request. And Ken Ross is here to give you the update on the fuel farm. The reason we've asked Ken to appear is because Jacob's going to go first. The reason we've asked him here is because it is a reminder of a financial commitment that presented earlier. So we want to be sure that the right person is giving you the information, and you should have received that in your packets. So, Jacob.
Morning, gentlemen. Jacob Elliott, currently the secretary for our board of aviation. After more than a year of input and consideration, the BOAC today seeks your advice and consent on our plan to recognize Randy Strubig's contributions to aviation in our community. Decades of volunteering with national organizations, DNR advocacy, creating dozens of public seaplane access bases all across our state. The general contractor for our hangar building project completed in 2012. And of course, aviation board member from 2015 on, ushered in what I would call the modern age of our county airport. I think is fair. Numerous long-lasting and impactful improvement projects at the facilities there. So in recognition of these and many other contributions to our community, we pray you grant our request to name the terminal the Randall D. Strubig Terminal Building.
This would be the
Just the name for the building itself or the signage for the airport?
Yes, sir. Just the building itself. I think it's in aviation circles, at least. It's pretty common when I travel to other airports to find either a local municipal airport itself or a building, a hangar, memorial park, our flagpole area and kind of garden area around it, and for a former aviation board member today. So I think what we propose is appropriate and would be found relevant by other airport users from around our neighborhood and across the country. Just the building.
Where would the signage be on that?
So we anticipated a exterior sign, whether Aaron would face it runway side or on the side facing the building. I think probably to be determined. And then we had considered 2 small signs near each pedestrian entrance to the building. And then inside, if you remember, inside our building, we have a nice visual tribute to the Eicher family with the history of the airport going back. And we envisioned maybe a couple of paragraphs, nicely framed on the wall, outlining Randy's contributions as described briefly.
I know, I really don't have a problem with that, just making sure we're not stepping on anybody's toes in the past, I think, but it sounds like nothing's been named in that area before.
We have the Dr. R.Y. Weaver boardroom. We named the boardroom after Dr. Weaver, just long time leadership of the board and the efforts to create the building. They get that funded and collaborate with the various communities. That was a huge effort across all those years. Likewise, we think Randy was the low bidder on that project, but was also very involved with the engineering and the airport board at that time to make sure that project could come in within budget and add that in. So we think that all around naming the building seems appropriate to us.
You looking at me to make a motion?
I made a motion so far this morning, so I moved to approve if that's fine.
I'll second.
Question. Where will that be paid for from?
Dennis or Aaron, could you?
It's gonna be paid from airport funds from what I
Yes.
understand.
So
Yeah,
We have a
any
lo-
costs associated with the signage and the dedication plaque, that sort of thing, would all be paid out of the airport's budget.
Any other discussion?
And Ann did say that you guys were aware that there was, sales tax on there and that was coming off, is that correct?
Yes, that
we're
is
aware
correct.
that's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I assume you're gonna have some type of,
We will have a dedication ceremony. We've invited the Steuben family. Of course, we'll make everyone involved in the community aware of it, especially the airport community and both the commissioners and the council. And because he impacted so many people that, this will be a significant event. So we're looking forward to doing that, hosting his fame.
I don't think we've made any concrete plans yet, but we have so many projects in the works and so many things to wrap up yet this year that perhaps we can have a combined celebratory event.
Wait until everything's completed and kind of.
Well, we do have a lot of things going on and they are going to be wrapping up. It's also going to take us a little time to get things in order for that. So,
Stay tuned.
so yeah, we will keep you informed.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ken Roth with NGC. I'm the airport engineering consultant for the new fuel farm project that we've been doing out there. If you might recall, we came to you back in May when the project was just getting started. This program is to replace 2 existing underground fuel tanks that are 38, 40 years old, and that we're replacing them with above ground fuel tanks. The funding sources, there are 2. The first one is your generous use of ARPA funds to the tune of $800,000. And then in addition to that, we're taking advantage of a new Indiana Department of Environmental Management program where they are contributing to the replacement of old fuel tanks. In the old days, they waited until they leaked and then they helped you. This is a new program that just started this past July. We're the first people to use it. And so we've been cutting our teeth on this program. They will provide somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000, $310,000 toward this. They pay 50% to certain expenses. The problem is they don't pay anything until you're done. It's a reimbursement program. They want to make sure the old fuel tanks come out of the ground before they contribute and that we have a clean site. And because of that, there's a gap in there where we have to do the work and then get reimbursed for them after the fact. And we had talked to you back in May about helping us with that gap funding, call it a loan. We have met with IDEM several times. They have committed to that amount that we anticipated. The construction is complete. The new tanks are done. They're operational. They passed all our tests. We're now ready to remove the tanks. The problem is we're at the point now where we need to tap you on the shoulder and help us fill that gap funding. So you had agreed or approved that or wouldn't have even awarded the first contract back in May. But we're at a point now where we need to approach council and start giving you some invoices to cover. We don't see any issue. It's a new program, but we think IDEM will reimburse us probably within 90 days of the tank removal. So we don't see any issues of getting this paid back to you before the end of the fiscal year.
Do you have any type of written documentation from IDEM in regards to?
I've got an email that says, here's the things that we'll cover, but the program is state law and it's immortalized in law there. They've got it on their website and everything. The problem, they've always kind of helped. When they first wrote the law, they said, we'll help replace with underground tanks. We went back a year later and got the law changed to above ground tanks as a corrective action as well. That's where the teeth cutting is coming because they've never dealt with above ground tanks that frequently. But we've given them the bid tabulations and everything. And they just sent us an email Friday that says, here's the items that we consider 100% eligible. Here's 6 other items that we'll consider if you give us some additional documentation. So we expect to get more than the $303,000 that they've committed to so far. So.
Can we get a copy of that email?
Yes.
Jump in ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, this was discussed last year.
Right.
And it was agreed upon. Funding for that. Sources for that, I think we have one of 3 options that we can do. Adequate funding, see that, again, this is going to go out and come back.
Right. That's what we typically do is see it.
You could use, not see it, but typically what we do with the major moves funding.
Major biz rights.
So that would be, typically when we loan and have it come back, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Be my suggestion that see it as adequate funding. In addition.
Major move.
Yeah.
Probably have that, but
That's what we typically do with that.
well, they help build that facility anyway, so.
And this is an in, this is an out and an in.
Okay, Chip, if you want what it is.
It was just shy of 3 million last. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, the estimated tank removal cost is about 112,000.
Yeah, and that includes some contingency money for contaminated soil. The airport did a lot of reporting and testing, Aaron, 2 or 3 years ago.
Correct.
And everything came back clean. We don't expect to use all of that, but that's just contingency just in case there's some leaks found or something.
What is the exact dollar amount that they're wanting to?
About 310,000.
Yeah, we've got a not to exceed 310. We don't think we'll come anywhere close to that because even the consultant is going to hold off all his invoicing until everything's done. So, but that's the maximum amount would be 310,000.
Motion?
Yep. I'll move to approve.
Second.
That's all.
Out of major roads.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Just to confirm them, you still have to get council approval
Still have to get
as
council.
well,
Council will have to.
and then we can start submitting invoices.
So that'll be advertised for the May meeting.
And you will just confirm, you will manage that, getting
Letting the
us,
council, yes,
getting us on the agenda that.
Yep.
And that'll actually be a request from the commissioners to council, but it would be nice to have some support here.
Yes, absolutely. We would also like at this time to request a slot on your next meeting, April 21st, bring another request to you guys. So is there anything else project-wise that you'd like to have an update on?
I don't think so. I've been out there a few times,
Yeah,
and nice visits.
the fence is going very well. We expect that to wrap up. And we are under contract for the fuel removal equipment, so we expect that to wrap up. The fuel truck is completed pretty much. And so we will be bringing all of those joyful closures to you guys, just as an update.
So I have something on the lighting also, runway lighting.
That is a new project.
That's a new.
That would be in years, excuse me.
Go ahead. No, jump in.
That would be upcoming in years ahead. We have a 5-year plan
Yes.
that includes that item.
That will be our next big push at the airport, will be LED lighting on the runways. And we will be working with the FAA to make that happen. Sometimes if you get your engineering done, if there's money at the end of the year, they call airports and ask, do you have any projects ready to go? And we always like to be able to say, yes, we do, because if they're gonna give us money, we want it. And that's just a good stance to have when dealing with the FAA. Concerning the other projects, the FAA will be coming for the final inspection of the runway, of the fence, the Chicago ADO director will be here, as long as her number 2 and our program manager. We will, of course, be inviting commissioners and council to join us at that, because it's a wonderful networking opportunity to meet the people who run the FAA at the Chicago level, which is where we report. So it's a very important thing, and I believe NDOT is coming.
NDOT intends to come to the final inspection for the fuel farm, even though they didn't participate in the funding. They're always interested in seeing what's going on.
And they will also be here for the fence project, because they contributed 5%. So all the folks at NDOT Aviation will be here also. So again, it would be a wonderful opportunity to meet them and to talk with them and make sure they understand that we have other projects in the works that we'd like them to consider and support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner.
That time of the year, huh?
Yeah, we're here representing Steuben County Farmers Market again. We're going into our 23rd season. here on county properties. So we're very, very proud of it.
And just to let you know, this was a vision. Please. Also too, this was a vision with Ron Smith and myself and how this all got started. And Ron and I worked together. And since he was the commissioner at that time, he pulled some strings to get it started. And we would never imagine that it would be as big as it is today. So, but farmers markets are a very oncoming thing all over the country. So,
Yeah, and we've had up to 60 vendors in a season. And on and off, it depends on if it's apple season, sweet corn season, you know, they come and they go, our vendors, but within a total of 60 vendors. So when I advertise it's the biggest Northeast farmers market in this corner, in this area. So we're very proud of it. So we would just like to grace us if we could use your parking lot again this year.
you sure you can do it without construction around? We won't know how to act.
We start on May 10th this year. Season starts and it runs through October.
So I see your Wednesday one is moving.
Yeah, so our Wednesday one's gonna be moving across the street here, parking, or the library parking. And it starts July 2nd. So, yeah, we're just trying to find our niche on Wednesdays at this point. So we're gonna try it back over here in town again, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
And the normal insurance certificate.
Yes, I will be getting that for you. Will there be any line or blacktopping done this season that you know of on the lot?
Austin? Not this year. I don't foresee it this year. I'm working with Chip on it and
Yeah, still working on
I think it's a little ways away yet.
Thank you so much.
So one thing that you could do in all this while you're trying to grow your farmer's market, grow our parking lot for us. We need more parking spaces.
I haven't quite figured out this yet.
You're talking about
I just thought I'd throw that in there.
you're talking about square footage here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm working on that plan.
Okay.
My farm comes first though, so we're gonna go from 120 acres to 140. We'll see how it works out.
Thank you so much.
They're all very.
Same.
Sorry, I interrupted that.
No, that's fine.
Thank you.
It was wrong.
Thank you.
Sheriff?
Ooh, golly. Auditor.
Morning, Chair.
Good. Well, I just have one item. Respectfully requesting a maintenance contract for what I came in front of you last meeting with the issue of the battery backup on the tower site. Fremont, our primary one. It had a maintenance agreement, however, it expired a number of years ago. So long that it wasn't even in the file system that when we took over, it's just fine until now the batteries have gone bad. So we've got to bring up to speed an invoice that we paid last meeting in regards to their response when the alarms went off. Now we've placed a contract before you for maintenance, which will cover everything from their response to labor, needs, battery, covers everything for a year. What we're looking for now is they're giving us which batteries are bad in the system that they're replacing. So that doesn't mean that we'll have to replace all the batteries. And I don't know the number of what's in it. There's 12 or 15. So that they're looking now. And so we'll be getting an invoice shortly. So the pain's not quite over, but this maintenance agreement that goes in effect will sure help. And that'll keep that primary site up and going.
How many sites does that cover?
This covers just one. This is just the Fremont site. We've got 7 sites total, but the primary is the issue. The primary can't go down, so it's like a 911 center. So it has the secondary backup system, the only stuff it does. So this is the same company that handles our battery backup system for the 911 center as well.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye. Aye.
Good morning. You're not busy, are you?
No, not at all. We got 2 packages from mail on Saturday. I keep it to the last minute. One of the last ones processed.
Didn't they say there's one person that has to be the first one to pay their check?
Every year. Every year. They're proud of it.
They're
4 years in a row.
That's awesome.
Folks, today I come before you again with the Trex MOU that I presented last meeting, in hopes that you will agree to this so that we can do some tax reduction on our debts. Be happy to answer any more questions or.
This one MOU would make it available to any county, right?
Counties are taxable, yes, any unit of government within our county. Townships, all lots.
It's not that we have to, it's just available.
Correct. Right, it's just, okay.
And, you know, I talked with Leanne about this, especially when she becomes treasurer. And I've been involved with AIC down the state, and the lady that helps initiate those. And I haven't seen a downside to it yet. So it's kind of one of those things that AIC helps with and initiates. It can be a cost savings for the county as well as the taxpayer that is being trying to be collected from. So its cost of collections are quite a bit less.
With credit scores and with how it's collected, it's a little bit more favorable for the people that are, you know, the impact is not as detrimental on the taxpayers.
Yeah. I know Mr. Chris wanted to speak to part of this. I don't know if you want to table it till after he has a chance to speak. He's this morning. I don't believe he's here yet. I don't know that would have much bearing on thoughts on this, but that was just a request.
If I may, if Mr. Press does offer his services, I would honestly prefer to use the Trex system. If he does wish to offer his services to other departments, that is great. My office would choose, if I had that availability, to use Trex first to give it an opportunity. And then if it does not work, then I would explore other avenues.
I think currently he's just collecting for EMS.
Correct.
So I think that was.
At this time.
Will this be a tool that someone who represents the county could use in terms of collection?
I believe it has to be an elected official or a department head of a unit of body of the Steuben County Government. Thank you.
Looking at this, can you enter collection into it and then withdraw it?
It's humane. Yep, it is done weekly. It's a clearinghouse that, if people were to pay their taxes here, it's updated and it shows within 7 days. So it's updated very regularly.
Just, something that we needed Mr. Stuckey to look at.
Yes, he already has.
Okay, you're right, we didn't.
There's an email or memo from him stating that he's reviewed it, finds it allowable.
I really don't see any reason to hold off. Sure, to give him, to give him time to.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll put to the
A second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Three zero.
Thank you.
I just want to make a comment. I really appreciate the information you've been sending us. It's very nice.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Some names, items. First up is the jail and sheriff's office. There's a list generated just before I started, and out of this list, it has its own fund. So on this list is the elevators. They're outdated. We have parts on them that are obsolete and parts that are hard to find these days just because of the age. One of them parts is the safety edge. It's a protection device on the elevator. Schindler provided a quote to replace that. We would see reduced downtime in the event that it fails and labor. Quote $6,320.
Which elevator?
This is the elevator at the sheriff's office. It takes you down to the floor.
I see.
You don't have his name on there, then it had me worried it was the new courthouse.
We're pretty.
Question.
That would be out of that, I think it's 1138.
This is the line item that we set aside for your repairs.
Yes. Yep.
So in last year's budget, well, you were on the other side of it.
Yes,
But this goes way back, to give you some history that we had sat with the sheriff and his staff and team and determined,
Came up with a bunch of those.
come up with a punch list for, maybe the next 3 to 5 years, set aside some money each year
And here,
to reduce those.
pushing my arm up real high behind my back in order to do that.
We're getting there, right? Oh, yeah. It's been wonderful. Thank you to all.
The boilers, security system, the front steps, the roof. I mean,
Sewage line, water lines, handicap access front door now, my goodness. After 30 years, it's wonderful.
They're on the stone ages.
Steps, yeah.
I still like the orange paint, but any questions? From the- I'll vote to approve. Sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye. Now, I was a little late on this on Friday. Abby, do they have the literature I brought you for the return air handlers?
Yeah.
Okay. Sheriff's office also has 4 return air handlers that have been broken for some time. So those need to get replaced. I provided 2 quotes, one from Anchor for $30,950 and one from Industrial Contracting and Engineering for $52,391. What these do is they help equalize the pressure in the rooms. They would come in. Anchor is providing the drop-in units. The OEM is what they would take out is what they would put in. This includes the labor, installation, taking the old ones to get rid of them. This is also on that list.
You compare both quotes to see.
Yes.
To approve.
Anchor.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye. Aye. 3-0.
All right. Next, I have one for the community center. Since I've been here my short time, I've been approached several times. Individuals in the building and outside of the building. Be nice if we could get bottle filler stations, maybe one per level. These are water fountains with a top unit. You go up and you can fill your own water bottle. These are, they reduce plastic waste. They're more hygienic. They're filtered as well. What we have right now, they don't have another filter on them. It's just straight water from the city. So these have an additional filter to improve the water quality. So I did get a quote. Jim kind of helped me from the jail. He got one and put it in and gave me his rep that he used. So for 3 of them, I want to put one on each floor. It's $4,942, and we would take care of the labor. Gary and we would put these in. So
Yeah. I had requested also to take a look into these also. I just wanted to get an initial price on it to see if maybe then we can go to some or other. I know we've had in the past, I've had hospitals donate these, I've had insurance or insurance companies paying to donate these for wellness programs. So I think just taking this price and then maybe tabling this until we look at some of those other options we have. Check with Alicia with the health department, see if there's possibly any grants that we can use to pay for these. But it is part, I think these are can be part of a wellness program that we can maybe look into.
look at different avenues to fund it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that.
I think it's do that for this building. You better be prepared to do it for the other building.
I think a lot of the other buildings have them. Last one.
I would
Judicial
suggest
center
you.
does, the sheriff's office, annex site, do not believe they do.
Okay. Be like the last, yeah. So maybe we do an inventory of where we can put them in.
Okay.
Highway department.
I know I think the
North EMS.
some of those don't have great problems though. They just, right.
I understand. Yeah, you understand how it goes.
I understand how it goes. I think they're important to have because they do save a lot of
Trash.
yeah.
Go through a lot of water bottles in the auditor's office, a lot.
So I think we a motion to take. We just table it.
Just table it, not much. Continue to review it. But yeah, thank you for the information. That was, and was that?
Yep.
Next, I have 2 Delta T invoices. First one is for the boiler, troubleshooting the boiler. I talked to a couple of you about those boilers. About 42 years old. We have some water leaking out of the boiler number 2. And this is the initial cost for troubleshooting. And we're kind of getting a plan around. We plan to wait until it starts to warm up. That way we can do an eddy current test on the pipes that are leaking to see how many we actually have, rather than fixing one, finding out 2 months down the road, we should have done Steady current, got those fixed on the other pipes as well. The other quotes for a Belima valve, we have quite a few of them in this building. They control the hot water and the cold water, chilled water. Due to the age and how many are in this building, we do have a few leak each year. So that quote for the boilers was, or sorry, that invoice for the boilers was $784. And for that valve to get it replaced, parts, labor, cleanup was $874. Requesting, I was told in the past, these come out of the commissioner's building maintenance. Requesting for that to happen.
Move to approve.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All right, last one is, we have some space in the front of this building on the north side that's not being used very often. And plan is to kind of reconfigure that area to make it more, get more use out of it. Plan to turn that area up there into a conference room. And there's also work to be done on an office next to it to open that up so few individuals can utilize that office rather than one person. I did get a quote from Integrity Restoration and Construction. This would be taking out a wall, couple walls, framing a door in. And then in the office, be taking out a closet in there as well. So that quote was $12,594.04. This includes all the labor, all the cleanup, puts the flooring down.
Put in some closets and doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of little items, but they add up because there's quite a bit to do.
Ultimately, the goal is try to get more use out of these spaces.
Yeah, I think, once we have that space, it'll get utilized a lot more than what it is, that's for sure.
Budgeted item. You cat line item.
I think it's important for us to. I'll move to approve out of Kim Cap.
Sorry. Further discussion. Time frame.
No, probably next month.
Motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, aye. So 2-1.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Austin, sorry. You have an update on the sound system? For the recording?
I do. The mixer has been ordered and want to pick that up. We are on the schedule to get completed. He's going to reach out to me probably a couple weeks in advance, but
Probably not before the end of the month, then, though.
no, unfortunately not. They're booked out, so.
Unfortunate, so. The Lions Minstrel, toward the end of the month would have been nice to utilize that.
Try to get it as quick as we could.
Understood.
Thank you, Austin. Appreciate your work.
Morning.
Good morning.
I am here to provide an update on the Steuben County Early Childhood Coalition and answer any questions you guys might have about that initiative and strategic plan that we're hoping to undertake in the coming months. I'll just give a recap of the letter that the Community Foundation sent out on March 6th to some community stakeholders requesting investment in the form of financial support for the coalition. Up to this point, the coalition hasn't sought financial support from any entity other than the Community Foundation. The Community Foundation has been solely supporting that primarily through my role. In 2024, I began serving as the coalition coordinator for Steuben County, and that has primarily been keeping us involved at the regional level with the Northeast Indiana Early Childhood Coalition. That group has representation from the Northeast 11 counties, and most of the coalition leaders that serve in that group are actually full-time coalition leaders who are fully dedicated to early learning initiatives in their counties. For me, the Community Foundation has given some of my time, about 25% of my time, to early childhood initiatives. And in 2024, it became very clear that that was not enough to serve the needs of our community. So I have spent a lot of time with leaders of centers, especially our larger centers in the counties, in our county, talked with our school superintendents, hosted coalition meetings on a quarterly basis. And then, like I said, most of my time has been spent at the regional level, making sure that Steuben counties had a voice. And by the end of 2024, we definitely heard loud and clear from some community members that our community could really benefit from someone that can give full-time dedication to this. My role is to help get these community initiatives off the ground, but not be the subject matter expert and lead them forever. And it's really time that we roll this coalition to its own formal organization and hopefully find someone that can step in and give that full-time role a chance for our county. We've seen other counties that have done this now, and they've had some success with getting grant dollars brought into their community to improve the quality and capacity and affordability of childcare in their communities. This Community Foundation has kind of become the hub of early learning. I get a lot of calls that are way outside my wheelhouse, and I try to get people connected, but it's definitely time that we start to push forward with getting our coalition formalized enough that we can have someone in that full-time role to lead it. So that's what prompted the invitation to invest. We recognize that we really need to work with someone who can help us go through that formalization process. We have really great engagement at these quarterly meetings. I know some of you have been to them. We have 30 plus participants from all the anchor institutions that we would want there, all saying, yes, let's drive this forward. So we want to make sure that we do it in a way that's going to be sustainable. We have a really clear plan. When we have the opportunity to hire someone full-time, we know exactly what we're investing in and what our expectations are of that person. Because I think that was something that came up a couple years ago when this first was brought to the table, was what's this person actually going to do? We want to work with Transform Consulting Group, who's done this type of work in other communities, to outline what that'll look like for Steuben County. So that's where that ask is coming from, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
I could just say thank you for being involved in this initiative. And it's part of what's been handed you, but you've taken that and you've run very well with it. And it's, we appreciate your efforts in that. So.
That's a very important piece. I think this is one of the major issues we're having in this county, and that's it's very important we get this off the ground. So. Yeah, already committed, so yes.
Correct. Yes, so thank you for your commitment, and we'll get a plan moving and in place. And we have some other community organizations that have invested or expressed interest in investing. So it's going to be a good community-owned initiative.
I'm sorry, are you reaching your goal?
The goal of 100,000, we're about 40% there. We have some conversations in the works and some grant asks in the works. We found a couple opportunities that we think will be good. So hopefully that'll be a higher number soon.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm asking to utilize the event center again this year for the crisis intervention training. It is scheduled in September. So last year we were able to train 19 officers, and that included 2 from DeKalb County also. We have opened it up to other counties to be able to get more people through.
We already, talked about the dates and have those.
Yes, so
Okay.
yes, I've actually already spoke to them. They just needed the approval.
I'll make that motion.
First. There's discussion. Hearing none. Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye. Aye. Thank you. Where's Lee at?
He's back here.
Oh, he's hiding.
I am.
Hiding. I just want to think a little bit, trying to catch up.
Morning. So I'm coming today with a request to utilize the county fairgrounds on Tuesday, July the 15th. This is for what will become a countywide exercise with local emergency responders. We're going to piggyback off of or continue to grow on what we did in partnership with Trine University last year. I don't want to get into a lot of details of the exercise as it is still under development, but we're looking at wanting to use a different venue. And the fairgrounds provide large enough space for parking and staging of apparatus, as well as different options for us to utilize as far as facilities. I will also be reaching out to the fair board just to go talk with them, hopefully next week at their meeting, just to let them know what our intent is. And we have already spoken with both Scott and Ben, and the 15th of July is tentatively scheduled for us to be able to be out there.
Did any of you go to last year's event?
Yes, I did attend last year's event.
I was not able to go. No, that's where you were. Yeah.
You'll all receive invitations to this year's too. Obviously, we're not involved too heavily in the exercise as one of the people that you're searching.
Duly noted.
Why would they just, given the presence that will be there, be sure it's very well publicized as to what's going on.
We will do that.
It's in the planning that we're having, and we actually have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow with something that will make sure that it is well advertised, that that's what we're doing before. I'll make sure everybody in the campground is notified as well.
Questions, concerns, motion allowed.
Move to approve.
Second. I'm just checking the fair dates.
It's all after June, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye. And if I can, real quickly, one other matter. I'll be sending an invitation to you from the Anthony Wayne Scout Reservation for a breakfast at camp that is coming up May the 7th, that they would like me to forward to elected officials. So it's Wednesday at 9. In your email, if any of you are available, they would love to have you attend this Wednesday. And, no, it's May 7th. May 7th.
What was that one for? Like,
It's just the Anthony and Wayne Scout Reservation is having a free pancake breakfast featuring maple syrup that they make from the trees there on the reservation.
They're gonna talk a little bit about some of the things that they do to mapping how they partner with local emergency responders and some of the stuff that they do for the campers. And thank you for the opportunity to ride along with me last.
Well, thank you. That was.
Thank
what
you
was
for
it, Friday?
Friday.
I don't even remember anymore.
I've been in town.
I think it was Friday. Thursday. Thursday. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Asking for advisory board appointments.
You're still short, correct?
Yes.
These are all appointments that we're approving.
Yes.
Okay. And we need to find.
And then we'll need to find one more.
What was a representation of that open position? It was Bill before he became on council, so is there a requirement for that position as far as just need to be a public member or?
The statute is defined as a layperson. That's it.
You know, those who are currently serving on it are geographically across the county. I see some of them that I know that are here centrally, look like you're in the north end of the county. Bill's kind of northwest.
Whereas this kind of bill.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there should be somebody from the south end of the county. As I look at these.
Probably so. What's the description, job description for that, or how many times they're meeting, or?
We meet 6 times a year.
Same time each month, same place?
Usually,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's go ahead and if you're willing to, we can appoint 10 that are presented to us right now and then work on.
I think a motion.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. We'll try and help you work towards that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you get your other one handled?
No. The training?
Yeah, you were asking for
Yes.
approval.
No.
You want to discuss that anymore, or not here?
No, I can. Where did the approvals go? Thank you. Did you sign 2 of them? No. That's 2.
I guess I figured you would bring that up in this meeting. Okay. So you didn't get a response from me.
I didn't know what procedurally you do in that instance. When you get one approval over the phone, and then that's it. Okay. Gee, that's,
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
He reached out to Andy and to me, and Andy said you were driving.
Is when you're, yeah, so it was during the day. So on something like that, you know, if you don't get a hold of one, you know, then try the other.
Okay.
My intention was just, I said, Rick is probably more available than well at that time, that particular time.
It is, the request is for $650 to have the case managers go through the ODERA risk assessment training. The ODERA is geared towards domestic violence.
You have a line item for that.
Yes.
You said yes to it, Rick, already.
I got respond.
I did.
You did?
Okay. I needed a little more input there, and why I wasn't coming to this meeting and why I was urgent enough to.
The training is April 14th.
Are they still able to get into it at this point?
Yes.
Did you say April 14th?
Correct.
1/4?
Was this something that just kind of came up that you found, or was this something you knew about?
It's something that I knew about before the list was sent to the commissioners. But I didn't get it in time.
I'll move to approve.
A second.
And you said you do have funding for this.
Yes.
Can you just let Abby know what fund that'll be, so she can make a note of it later? You can let
It's
her know
the
later.
training line item.
Okay.
And 1122.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye. Good morning.
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 Good morning.
I got you.
Take yourself this morning.
Oh, yeah, listen. I was there.
That was the old one sitting on the chair, I found out.
I see.
I knew Andy did.
All right. I was doing pretty good. Since you're there, why don't you go ahead?
Okay.
Sorry.
First thing I have is NDOT LPA voucher for PE claim number 15 in the amount of $923.44 to Lock Community Group for Bridge 37.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. County Road 200 North, we have no change. We're still just waiting on NDOT. For the 100 North, 200 West roundabout, we have our condemnation hearings on May 15th. Our asbestos inspections have been complete, and I'm working on our demolition permits. No change on Bridge 37. Okabachi South Phase 1, walkthrough that we did went really well. We're working on our Stage 1 plans right now. Looking at adding a second trailhead at the north end of our project, which would be in the south ends of the city limits. Got a really good location, nice 3.5 mile jaunt, Pleasant Lake to the south end of Angola. Figure some people might want to take a break. I did.
How was it?
It was nice, but I was ready to take it. A place to sit down too. Yep. It was a nice little walk. Our small structure number 7, all our utilities are clear now. So we're ready to go as soon as API is ready to start work. Our community crossings 2025-1 project, all the project limits are marked out in the field for contractors. Had you contact them. We're planning on bid opening for April 21st. I'm still working on our county demolition project. Our annual operation report has been submitted and approved by LTAP. Our spring road issues, we have our $250,000 request in for from the rainy day fund. It's been submitted for the April 8th council meeting. I have two contracts for you to review. The first one is for Grapevine Road, gravel road conversion contract. And the second one is to work with the town of Pleasant Lake to chip seal the parking lot. So I'll have a spot for you to sign. I just need your official approval if you guys are good with both of them.
Pleasant Lake Park, they had requested ARPA funding, I believe, or assistance with that. Did they not?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. That's been a while since we talked about that.
It's Ralph.
Kibler was here for regards to that.
ARPA
we-
funding?
Yeah, they had requested money from ARPA for that, and then we asked them to get with Chip as far as the design and what that's from. Did they commit any funding to it from ARPA? I cannot recall.
I can't recall. I'm gonna have to look back.
And the price on that was considerably less when they first talked about, because I think he went from asphalt to chip seal and
Yes.
log seal to reduce the.
Yeah, it was originally $25,000-$30,000.
Yeah, and then I know I've talked to Mr. Cooper, and I know they're planning on participation from the railroad. So the railroad has to participate. He was good to move forward with the contract.
Okay.
Yeah, I attended the Lions Club meeting and I come up, of course, that conversation came up that morning with you, and they were aware of it then and talked about it a little bit at the Lions Club meeting, so they're all on board with it.
Can I motion?
I will.
I have a motion for
So, so,
That's both of them.
yes, both of us.
Same with you.
yes.
Any further discussion on those? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'll get those contracts sent out. Then our last phase of our bird inspection reports are completed. So this ends that phase of the 2021 through 2024 bird inspection cycle. I have two inspection reports to turn in so they can be officially part of it. You guys' contract, I'll give that to the auditors. And then just circling back, we had originally talked about a public outreach system. We're getting ready to gear up for our summer program again. Didn't know if you guys want to come and talk to new IT. Because originally we had talked about Remind. I think that might have been the text system. There was some talk about Facebook page, but I didn't know. I had approval to talk to the new IT director about what they would support.
Yeah. Just make it happen.
I get you on the radio again. Chip's got a good radio voice.
I heard that.
Text better.
I listened to that.
I like text better. Our guardrail spraying program set to begin, April 7th. It's probably gonna be week April 14th because of the weather. Toll road detours. The toll road is currently working on a project that they're calling Push Forth. Push, yes. And they're working on trying to rehab every single structure in Steuben County. We have been working, we made a lot of progress on the issue we have with the current detour on 450 West. As of right now, we're working to get that detour moved to I-69 up in Michigan, so it's no longer an issue. As of right now, the latest date that detour is gonna be on there is May 20th. It might end up moving quicker though. So we did have forward progress this past week. Still like official approval for me and Mr. Stuckey to work together if they don't continue to move forward, to remind them of their legal obligations. They actually have a contract set to go for the detour roads onto our roads.
I would make that motion.
And I think, I'll second that, sorry.
And allow you to emphasize that quite emphatically if you need to.
Thank you. They kind of skipped a couple of steps.
Any further discussion on that?
Yes, with regards to the trucks going down,
No truck route.
no truck route, yes.
Correct.
I think I'd like to see that at least get remedied quicker than May 20th.
Yes. We're having forward progress. We're waiting on, because they have to coordinate between the two states.
Right.
To make the move on I-69, which is the only reason why I'm not still screaming. But we're,
The state police or DOT officer might have to sit there for a little while to remind them.
yes, we might, that's part of the reason why I wanted Mr. Stuckey on there, on the email or the letter that we sent officially, so we properly word our rights on how we ticket everybody that they send down that road.
Not to mention that bridge is not legal height for that either. So
And that, which is part of the reason they didn't send us the request to close the road and approve the detour until the Friday before the Monday closing. Yes, I sent them an email back about, because our conversation was about the bridge. You can't say, yes, I'm saying, yes, you can go under the bridge, yes, you can use the road indefinitely for whatever you want, like detouring truck traffic off the state highway down the road. So, yes, we're talking about the bridge.
I have a motion, second, any further? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Other than that, we are patching roads. Probably for another month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'll switch to the new agenda. In red, yes. Matt, good morning. Sorry to put you on that early.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Every time I come to a public meeting, one thing's clear, there's never a shortage of opportunities to spend money. And this opportunity I want to discuss required you to spend no money. So recently became aware of the Judge Cole Drain Consideration Project there. And understanding you were presented an estimate for engineering on that was pretty sizable. And I became aware of a grant opportunity that could pay for that. This grant opportunity, no match required. That's why I just said what I said about not spending any money. It would cover 100% of the cost on that. It's the U.S. Department of Transportation Rural and Tribal Assistance Pilot Program. The keywords there are rural and tribal. They generally split the funds 50-50 between rural and tribal. And a rural definition, less than 150,000 population, we're there. This grant program, they fund projects, they look and fund projects between 200,000 and 750,000, which I understand the estimate you're given would be right in the middle there. As it's mentioned, no match required. The deadline to apply is April 17th, so pretty short time to get the application in. However, I did bring a copy of the application with me. This is the paper copy. You do it in grants.gov. Just the preliminary the preliminary information, just the name of the county, brief description of the project. When you get to the back, the questions you have to answer, there's only 6 of them, and they're looking for less than a page of each one. So the time commitment to get this grant, probably looking at half a day of time to do it start to finish. So not too terribly extensive. What I need from you is if you guys want to proceed, let me know that. And then you can apply as a county. If you want to do that, we'll have to get you a grants.gov login. I can help you with that.
Or my agency as a regional planning agency is eligible to apply. We could apply on behalf of the county if you'd like to go that route. I think anything else? I think that's it. But if you're interested, yeah, happy to do this for you and answer any questions.
Is there a benefit either way, whether you do it or you do it, or?
No, either way is fine.
And you would work with our surveyor's office for all that detailed information.
I would make a motion that we utilize Mr. Brinkman's knowledge of grant writing and ability to do this to apply for this grant.
So,
Make you feel good, all right.
Any further discussion?
Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
all right, thank
There
you.
you go.
Thank you.
Let us know if we can help you.
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I'll be in touch with the surveyor's office on that.
And don't forget our auditor's office, they like to be looped in on all grants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it.
Good morning. Things on the agenda today. The first is reviewing and potential third reading of ordinance 1039. Also known as residential ordinance. Been a long time coming, since July of last year, we started the official process, and I think there were a couple things that had to be changed along the way, but we're now on the third reading of that ordinance.
I'll make a motion for good read.
Any further discussion?
Approving as presented.
Yes, with these, the changes that have already been made.
Thank you.
Anything? Going once? All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The second on the agenda, approval of SmackUp or invoice. This is through year 3 of our 4-year enterprise agreement. Enterprise agreement is a population-based payment instead of a user-based. You'll see in here, there are 3 different funds and account numbers that are going to make up the total of $17,064.92. I do believe this is actually a little bit lower than what was in the enterprise account agreement. They should do a couple of things, so we're good to go there. The next year it is another payment before we negotiate for another 4-year contract. With that, my question to the commissioners would be, because additional departments have come online, do you anticipate for the next 2026 budget cycle that the health department and the building and planning department are going to split the fee cost, or because there's potentially 3 additional departments that are going to be on, is that going to be split equally? How should we budget for that in the future? Just a frequent thought.
Sources and uses of funds.
Yeah.
I always go back to, so.
Yeah.
Everybody should pay their proportionate share.
Yes.
Well, I would argue that maybe the health department paid a little larger proportion this year with the state funding that they received in reducing the. What the other departments are receiving state funding.
Maybe they should seek some state funding.
Are you using state funding for some of us, or?
For SmartGov, no. We're actually, that was actually removed by council for the 2025 year. That's what that pay line was that was removed, and we're now paying Xerox instead. So this is actually coming out of these funds through the general settlement. For 2026, we're hoping to get that back in. But I can honestly, I haven't submitted a 2026 budget yet, so I can obviously shoot that around. I don't have a plan to do.
That's honestly, would it be that be the easiest route to go? do it with a lot of other.
There are other fees associated with this, credit card processing and portal costs. So this is the majority of the cost running this program, but there are other fees that go along with it. They are insubstantial compared to this amount.
Well, some will not use credit cards, right? Well, the highway department would not use credit cards.
We are not aware if they may be using a credit card or not. I know building and planning, and the health department use point and pay, which is one processor. I know the Parks Department is planning on using their current credit card processing, so we maintain that different channel of funding coming in, due to state board of accounts and what they requested. I'm not sure if the highway will take credit cards.
So maybe we just pay for that. Smaller ports, individual.
Apartments.
Yeah. Would that be simple to do, I think?
Provide the foundation,
Yes.
they provide the ongoing.
For 2026.
It's just
25.
Yeah,
26.
this was.
For budgeting purposes.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And then 2027, we start a new enterprise contract and we can forget that.
I think that's from a budgeting standpoint, your direction.
So noted.
They would still maintain being the lead person or negotiating like that. Purposes.
If that is okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so, but this right here, is this for 26 or is this what we're paying for 25?
This is what we're paying for 25.
Okay. And yes, I made a note for 26.
So we need it approved for this year's currently.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
If I may, I have a couple updates since we're on the topic of funding. I do want to let you guys know what's going on. About a week ago, HHS made a callback of the designated funds. The State Department of Health for Indiana put a stop work order on our immunization grant. They were told Thursday around sometime on Thursday, we got the notice on Friday. Some counties were looking at potentially firing over the weekend, just because of how tumultuous the announcement was. They did a very, very quick analysis, and it turns out that how immunization dollars, COVID dollars, and some additional public health infrastructure dollars were braided into each local health department. There was an amount that we potentially had spent. There was a potential amount that was left over. So when it comes to where Steuben County stands, we do lose access to about $8,000 that was available in our grant. The good thing is, because I don't like waiting to do stuff, we got our vaccine storage, refrigerators and freezers purchased early on. We got that invoice back of $36,000 for that purchase, and that was COVID dollars. So they cannot remove that from us. We already have it ordered. Unfortunately, there were a couple counties that had placed orders the week of March 25th. They were told to cancel those orders, and we're talking big counties, a lot of money canceling. The good thing is, they let me know we have $44,000 that is still owed to us. There is an impact to Steuben County Health Department. It's very minimal. We did the right thing. We spent those dollars early on, so we are truly not going to be impacted negatively from that. Now, on the other hand, when we're talking about HFI, Health First Indiana, they did, everybody's been watching the budget. It looks like we're going to be running about 33% less state funding than we did the year before. So this year, what that means is the proportional amount that the county has to contribute is also lesser. We would be looking at a deficit of about $180,000 to $200,000. Now, that is a lot of money. The good thing is, I played and I operate a conservative budget. We have about $600,000 in reserves. So we are going to tighten our belt. We're going to trim what we can, and we are going to do an assessment on what
programs are offering the most benefit to the community. There are a couple that we cannot get rid of due to statutory limitations and what we have to do. But I think I already have 2026 planned. And I am a little bit worried for the future, but I got it planned and I think I have a good budget that I'm going to take to the Board of Health on Wednesday of this week and give them a heads up of what's going on. So it's not a calamity. I plan to end for it. So I am happy to say that right now. Now, last week, I was a little bit, I was going a little sleepless, but we're doing okay this week. Now on to other matters. There was a food ordinance update that was passed. It goes into effect April 16th, which means we have another ordinance that will come before you in short order. Also, mobile foods are changing thread in 2026 and 2027. And beyond the well ordinance, there's also an on-site sewage ordinance update that will negate the ordinance that you guys have passed. So 3 new statutes for public health, including statutory changes when it comes to our funding and how that is structured. There are a lot of changes coming for public health, but I will keep you apprised as much as possible. If you have any questions, please let me know. This is a very, very rough, brief overview, and I wanted to let you know that there's going to be more on the agenda for you to review. But other than that, things are going well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's your turn.
I don't think I'm asking for money either. So I sent out, I believe to all of you, when we were given the opportunity to not use the county as a pass-through for calendar year 2026. Just kind of wanted to get your guys' opinions. I got the opportunity to speak to 2 of you regarding your thoughts on that. And it was my understanding from one of you that maybe the ladies here were kind of excited about that too. So we have decided to not use the county as our pass-through for calendar year 2026. The benefit of that, there's benefit on both sides. Of course, you guys know it saves you all of the paperwork and things that you have to track and your auditor asking you for things and back and forth. Also, it keeps from Cheryl having to do the quarterly claim, submit it to you wonderful ladies, and you guys get it to the commissioners, and the commissioners have to sign it, has to go back to the state. So getting our money takes forever. And so now we'll be able to just do that directly ourselves. However, I also sent you guys a synopsis from Todd, the program manager from NDOT, kind of letting you know that there was still a small portion that the county had to be involved in, a couple of signatures. Primarily you guys acknowledging, we still know that there is public transportation in Steuben County. Do you guys remember that email I sent to all of you? Yeah, behind it.
Actually saw it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So just really, the state wants to make sure that you guys know that we are still going to be providing public transportation for Steuben County, that you guys still support us, not, as our pass-through, but that if somebody comes up and asks you, oh, do you have public transportation? Just because you're not our pass-through, and which is why we kind of had discussions prior to making that decision, so. So you still have to promote us. You still have to be kind of involved. The state wants you guys to acknowledge that we're still here. And of course we would still really appreciate your financial support in the future as well, but less paperwork.
So should we provide her with a motion that publicly acknowledge that there is public transportation?
There's a couple of signatures. You guys, I brought them also. So one is just for the county auditor. The other one is for the FDA, the certain assurances, which are just the same form that we have had Mr. Stuckey sign each year. That was also, and I have it as well. I sent you guys the wrong one last week and emailed this morning, and
It's I just pulled it out.
So Jamie,
Yes.
the rest of them, because there are normally 6 documents to sign.
Mhm.
The paperwork that we just printed off, did that have all the rest of them?
No, since you guys are not gonna be our pass-through anymore, you won't be signing off on any
So
of those.
these are for 26.
Yeah, so the only 2 that are needed from the county this year is the authorizing resolution signed by you.
Mhm.
And then the one from Mr. Stuckey, the FTA certs.
Okay.
The one thing that I would really like to, if you notice on the FTA that, Mr. Stuckey is signing, it says fiscal year 2024 at the top of it. So Todd Jennings, the program manager, sent out an email because we all questioned him about that, on April 4th, so on Friday, and just kind of letting us know, please disregard the reference to the fiscal year. And I brought a copy of the email in case you guys asked. FTA haven't gotten them an updated one, so they're still currently using the 2024 one. We were all worried they accidentally uploaded the wrong one for us.
Can we just get a copy of that email?
You can have, yeah. The front of it's here, but
Okay, awesome. We'll put that with me.
because there's a possibility I might have to come back and get it re-signed if the FTA at some point gives us a new copy.
That's all I.
Any of that?
They don't need anything from us. Just Kelly.
I just came to say hi. I appreciate you guys having the conversation with me, though. I know, like I said to the 2 of you that I did get to speak with, I was kind of anxious. I mean, when it first came out, the idea of not being a pass-through, I was so excited because it's less work for you guys. It's less work for us. We get our money faster. We can, it more mainstreams what we're doing in our organization. But so many of the boards and councils that I attend, the other agencies were like petrified. And so we had a hour meeting with Todd because I didn't understand, like, why aren't all the agencies wanting to jump on this? But if you guys recall, when we had our FTA audit, we walked away with 0 findings. So we already have everything in order, but a lot of agencies, I guess, don't. And their county takes care of a lot of that for them.
So you just had to deal with the audits and those stuff.
We do it anyways.
Yeah.
So if you don't, we don't have to legally by the federal government or the state government have an internal audit done. However, we do. So the State Board of Accounts did your guys' audit, and so they would request information and stuff like that, but we always have our own internal audit done by an external CPA. Just another checks and balance, and we have for years. So we but I guess the county handled all that for a lot of the other agencies, and that was their only, so we don't really have to change a whole lot either, because we're already kind of doing things by their discretion, I guess. Which you're gonna learn a lot about, Mr. Scheib, because you're now on our board, where the other 2 have been.
Do you have a question regarding the vehicles?
Yes, I do. So I'm the keeper of the titles. So I have some of the titles of your vehicles. Is that gonna change because the county's no longer the pass-through, or because we were the pass-through at that point in time, we keep the titles we currently have until it meets the standards? for
Exactly.
these?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You will keep them. So we are in 26 applying for 2 more vehicles. But again, because you guys won't be the pass through and those, you will still keep those until they meet that. And then, so we'll still have a little, crossover, but yeah, you'll want to keep those till then.
Thank you.
Government's becoming more efficient.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
On to other business? Or do you want a 5-minute break?
You go for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I was just walking out.
us our attention.
Okay.
Well, do yourself a pretty, but that's fine.
So if you don't mind, we're gonna get started again. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Come on, give me a break. Okay, next, we're gonna go through other business, first item is claims. Questions on any of those?
Approve claims of $952,792.03. And then in addition to that, items A, B, and C.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Approval of 321 payroll, $597,192. And the 4725 payroll, amount of $583,707.53.
Okay, motion. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll say it's done. We do have a request from the Steuben County Literacy Coalition for use of the auditorium, and that's that we waive fees for a 2-week period, roughly, during daytime hours.
This is the one we do every summer.
Yes.
This is what we've done in the past, correct? Yes. Motion approved.
Second.
Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, official approval of 2 documents. Steuben County EMS, one is the contract for the medical director agreement.
There's just information. We got that actually.
I think we have to accept those. Second one being the supervising hospital contract.
To approve?
That's for both of those.
Yes, sorry.
Secondary, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Lights being added to the old courthouse for the anniversary of Paul Revere's ride. By land, two by sea. Do we have any other information? I mean, who's doing this?
Her name was Sarah Adams.
Okay, and is that the Historical Society or is that?
She didn't say, she just called in and asked
Where would they like to have these lights at?
on the outside. Yeah, but she didn't really say.
To the balcony,
No,
to the courtyard, to the
I
fence, to the.
She never got that. So.
When I say we pass on this for the time being.
I just might need more information.
Yes. More information would be great.
Austin didn't know anything about it either.
We will take.
Yeah.
the time being.
I'm gonna disturb that.
What is that anniversary?
That sounds like a junior high history test question.
Anybody remember?
And they all just failed, we all just failed. Bill's back here, he's the oldest guy in the room.
I was out of Boston that day.
Just failed.
Goodness sakes. Yeah, just a note in our minutes that we have, we signed 3 plats this morning. Just list 4. Yeah.
Which ones did you sign? You remember?
Don't know if we did the bar.
I don't think we did the Barton Lake one.
We did GG stuff, we changed around. Yeah, I don't remember seeing Bart Lake.
It's that 16.
I knew about it was like Naples.
And then uniform conflict of interest disclosure. Sarah Smart.
Motion?
Yeah.
Move to approve.
Discussion. First for a second. If none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
You think they're conflict of interest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have another one here. If you want to do it at this, I mean, another motion, but do it at the same time. This one is for Chad Weiss. He's on the merit board, but the sheriff must send a lot of vehicles out to him for repair. So it's probably a good idea that he signs one as well. Sheriff brought it over to me.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Sorry. See that? It's for minutes.
If you want your history lesson, I looked it up.
Oh, I'll review it.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah.
We've got a motion in a second. Okay, this is on Mr. Weiss. Any questions, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Right before our next meeting.
He did.
He did.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, when was is it?
On the evening of April 18th, 2025, Boston will commemorate the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere's legendary.
I think if she calls in and gets us some additional information or sends an email, gives us some additional information, that's something we can probably do via.
Yeah, verbal or.
Are we gonna authorize
Austin,
Austin
that's what I was thinking.
to
Yeah.
make sure it's appropriate?
Yeah, I would make that motion to have Austin make sure that's appropriate and aligns with a temporary thing.
I'll second that.
Okay. Follow that. Okay. Any questions, concerns? All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Kind of like the idea.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Maybe we missed a few of those where they've, wanted like green or blue lighting, outside lighting for various things. And we budgeted this item, right, at 4,000, or was it less? It was originally 6.
What are we on?
Correct.
But it used to be larger. Yeah, it's 4.
It's
Correct.
4, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
if we use
1.4 or
anything
something. We set that
So,
out.
yeah, historically, we would give them $6,000, and then when we did a little bit of research, we found out that we were paying like, well, we weren't the only ones paying, but if you looked at the percentage of ownership of frontage, yeah, we were paying well in excess of what
Others going to be actually my question, so.
So we reduced that from 6 to 4.
Just still probably very generous.
It is.
It would be, yeah,
Yeah.
especially given the participation that they get.
But we do have campground there. We do have, there's.
Yeah.
There's.
Yes, we have some ownership in it.
Yes, for sure. So.
Anyways, that is a budgeted item for a motion to probably release that, aren't you?
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any further? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Next item kind of coincides with what is just handed to us a little bit.
Yeah.
I have an issue with that. There's something twice.
I think that, that's a public natural, it's.
Yeah, I would, I don't know if that's on PR or. Well, this one is here, yeah.
And they were, yeah.
PCO. Probably at PCO 131 to that.
Yeah.
I think that looks.
Yeah, I was looking through that, and I'm wondering why we have to pay for something that obviously we paid for once already, and it's not been correct, and why we're paying for it again to fix the issue. I don't get that opportunity.
It was engineered one way and then they had to move it.
So
That's what this is for.
it's not Wygand, it's our engineering.
Yes, that would be right. Yeah. So this was taken out of contingency, so basically what I would need is, the work I believe has already been completed as well.
Yes.
So.
And it is working, like as should.
So we do need to, what we say, pay our bills.
Yeah.
But based on what we are going to present our QAW, this would be an item I would suggest we add to it. And I think what's being presented to us here is simple enough that it encompasses everything we need to do to get a response from them in writing. Our QAW. Has to be placed on our letterhead and signed by all three of us.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because I'd very much like to see, measures for those funds that we should never have to pay for to begin with.
Just keep in mind, and I didn't look up the dates because I don't think I had the contract ready available. But if we're saying that there was a result of errors or omissions, you have 2 years limitation. And that goes back to when you probably agreed to it. When they started the design, because these are design issues for the most part. And I don't know when that is, but I just want to make you aware, we do have a deadline to take action if they fail to appropriately respond. That clock starts earlier than what you may anticipate, so.
All right, well, let's get this out and draft and stamped with our names on it.
Yes.
So let's do that in form of motion.
I'll make a motion to approve, the letter with the addition of PCL -131, HVAC invoice.
Second that motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all fair, signify by aye.
Aye.
And then secondly, I'd ask for, well, on the PCO 131.
PCL, I'm sorry, no, it's PCL. I'll move to approve PCL -131.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Does Scott have the original list of everything for the letter?
Yeah, I originally it's attached. I'll give you mine. It's attached, and I circled this as two ones they're focused on. But I use that term, so if they want to respond to the others, they could.
And then we're gonna add that PCO -131 to that.
Yeah, I agree that Wygan needs to be paid for fixing the issue, but they're not the ones that designed it.
Right.
Not enough heat gets put back on the architects, I don't think.
Okay, we had a request from Humane Society to place a couple of banners out on 400 West. I did respond in an email, but never heard anything back. At least I didn't see anything. Asking where they had planned to locate them.
I think they put them where the old,
Are they already up or are they?
they're not up, and in the past, I think they put them where the old, Humane
It's a casino night, going to be at one location,
put it up Paradise.
so they're just trying to put them on county property then.
Yeah, they've done it in the past.
They're trying to median or where are you going to put them?
As long as they keep them on the highway department side of the road.
Out of the right of way.
Right away.
Otherwise, it's in violation of our site ordinance.
Right.
Which sounds like they have an issue with that.
Yes.
So it's enforcement of.
Yeah, that's where we're at. So you want to allow permission that you want to,
I'll make a motion to approve that, they can do it on county property as long as it's not within the right of way.
do you want to add then? Okay,
Add on 200 West.
On 200 West, yeah.
Okay.
There's something wrong.
good. I'll wait for a second and then say something if we're guilty.
I'll say.
Okay. Do you want to have them get with Chip or Derek out there for the placement of it?
I will amend my motion to have them get with Jared to place the sign.
Second that
All
amendment.
right. Okay, any further? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
How complicated can we make this?
I don't know. You sat on council for enough years. 15 motions later, we might as well get it done.
I know.
He's just laughing.
First dead, we still beat.
Monthly financial comparisons. Yeah, reviewed them.
Make a motion that we supply the monthly comparisons reports for our review.
Second.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
And fund balance report is the E911 is tabled on those a little bit. That was very good to see. It stabled out about what, say a year ago, maybe a year, and then it's kind of been right. Yeah. Yeah, it's in good shape. Remember seeing that just decline.
Yeah. It's always been a balancing act for all of us to try to keep that fund where it should be, where we can survive. Back to that.
So, Colleen Everidge is seeking a letter of support from the county commissioners for the youth arts program. Is that? Are they seeking grant opportunities?
They are, that's what it
They were also seeking use as a
is.
public forum.
Any questions on that? The motion to provide a letter of support for the connection.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
I also have the executive session from April 1st and 3rd, and then the memorandum from April 3rd for approval. One was for April 1st, the other two were for
Executive session, let's do these. So we had an executive session on April 1st and April 3rd of for job performance evaluation of employees. So motion for those. Are those minutes or memos? How do you actually refer to those?
executive session statements. It's what? Executive session statements. They are filed.
It's a statement of executive session, so on those days.
I will move to approve both minutes.
Oh, second.
There's no minutes or anything on any of that.
Yeah. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
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 Was that Andy one and Rick two?
Yes.
Thank you.
And the last one is an April 3rd memoranda regarding an administrative meeting for EMS topics.
Move to approve.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Quick here.
This.
Here are. Some personnel items which remain confidential for review. So. Let's see. Out of our still outstanding items, let's see if they cover number 5 and 6, which is Community Foundation Early Childhood Coalition, right? And ordinance number 1039. And did we ask somebody to look into the flag?
Dan, right?
Yep. Yeah, Amy's working on it. She's got it with them. She's just waiting on a quote.
Okay.
So we'll have that hopefully next meeting for you guys.
I can't stop looking at it after you said that.
That was actually hand drawn.
Yeah, I was here with it, you know, that's amazing. Substantially different if I had to hand draw.
County park rental fees, are we referring to the 2026 rates?
He was supposed to bring all of that back for the 25 rates and he never brought it back around. He just went with whatever,
Send an email out to him now, have discussion with us on that.
because they've been collecting a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Out
those
there.
rates are pretty much already set at this point.
Yep.
But I think we set those last year so that he could inform people. If I'm not mistaken, the 2025 rates were set back in
They were.
like October, so that they knew what they were gonna be going forward for the following year.
Wasn't that long ago.
So just have a clarification on that. And then I see you provided us with a whole bunch of repairs that have been completed. Those have all been paid, correct? Okay. It's like when I saw still outstanding, I'm like, gosh, why haven't we paid for these?
So we did pay for the surveyor's truck.
Yeah, they wanted all the repairs. They wanted to see what all the work was done at the truck.
Okay.
And a lot of it just looks like, with the exception of a couple of things.
maintenance.
We've already paid.
Here, these are
This was just that.
history on it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a 2012, so it's. In fact, it probably needs a little more maintenance than Hartwell's, not surprising. I did not add all those up together though, but they go over a period of, what, 2 years?
Oh, more
3
than
years?
three, I think, yeah, 3, 4.
I guess those are just for our, it's something to maybe consider. Time goes on, and what the requirements are gonna be, maybe a budgeting item for next year, maybe to go there.
That's us looking to see if the last one.
I saw 117.
At 120, I saw, so it's at least 120.
20. So that might be, if you make a note, maybe potential budgeting item there, is to maybe send an email up to them and see what their thoughts are on that truck. As to whether it's adequate and for how much longer.
You want to send that email? Seriously?
Subject matter of what our executive sessions were. Regards to the direction for that.
Number.
11501. Action regarding group assessment.
Based on our sessions and our findings and our discussion, this time I think it would be like to make a motion to terminate employment with this employee number 11501.
Second that.
Do you want to follow up with that prior to a vote as far as the position itself? We're going to do that separately.
That would be what your motion would be. Unless you're wanting to amend your motion.
It's not up to you, one and then 1 or 2 motions. You can do it either way. I can amend that motion to say that at this time, we'd also like to change the direction of that job, change that job description, eliminate that, and make a new job for that position. New job description.
So that's an amendment.
terminate 11501 and change the job description.
Correct.
Create a new one.
Yeah, I meant, well, just gonna change the whole job description. Then.
Anything further? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Aye, 2-1. Anything else before us? Check everything in the boxes here. So. Kevin?
Okay, so I gave you the one thing that the sheriff brought to me, so. For RQAW, I want to go back and look at that real quick.
Sure.
But since they took it out of contingency money,
Yes.
I don't have an invoice.
No, you don't.
Okay.
It's zero. Yeah.
It'd be zero, so we don't have anything to send to Huntington. Okay. Did you ever sign then this online, or do you want me to go ahead and
Oh,
do that?
go ahead and electronically sign.
Okay.
Yeah, you would, they give approval for that.
Oh,
That's the RQAW.
there was got the electronic one on the
Oh, why
email.
can't? Because it's electronically.
Okay. I just got a note to sign it.
Yes. We need to cover more about return of equipment or anything.
Issue. Okay, anything else? Hearing nothing, we're in recess.
Thanks, Don.